Hey everybody, Sean here. One of the things I wanted to talk about that most people don't know is my weight loss adventure. Most people are used to seeing me as this fit person who's always out there running, exercising, pushing themselves hard, running marathons, half marathons, distances. But at one time, I was a fat guy, legitimately huge. I had a stomach that looked like a small planet had gone around it. But how did I get there? Because it didn't always be that way. So join me on a magical tour back in time and terror. So I'm coming out of college. I wanted to be a Marine Corps officer. That was my goal. I was pushing myself to be fit, to be able to meet the Marine Corps fitness test. I wanted to be the officer. And so that was my focus. I was running hard, running fast, distance, and lean and thin. But eventually I didn't get to that goal, and so slowly the pounds started coming on. And the weight just kept coming. Because one thing I have is a metabolism that's designed to last a siege. I have the ability that if I go buy a cookie and I walk by it, I'm going to gain 2 pounds just because my metabolism works in reverse. So over time, even though working out, the diet wasn't great, so I just continued to put on the weight. And the weight just kept going. And as we all know, it's very easy to slip into bad habits. And got to the point where my stomach basically sat on a table. And in order to get around, I more or less had to wear a muumuu. And the topped out 315 looking like I ate a small African village. I became Jabba the Hutt, or Chupale Jabba Le Shan. And of course, Jabba the Hutt approves of my transformation. It was comical how bad it had gotten for me. But I decided to make an effort to get back in shape. So you start making your lifestyle changes. You gotta get rid of the beer because that doesn't help. And slowly, but the pounds start to come off, but it doesn't really move fast. So I got back into running. I pushed myself hard, even actually managed to win first place in a division in a 5K. But that wasn't enough. The weight still wasn't coming off. I had to push harder. So that meant more running, more training. And eventually, as we kept training, we started to slim out further. And so you started to say, okay, what is the goal? Because you should always have a goal. Because, while people stare at you and you lose your weight, you need something to keep yourself motivated. So I sat down and thought about it and said, what do I want to do? I'm going to work out. I'm going to push myself hard. And I'm going to continue to run 5Ks. I'm going to see if I can continue winning those. And so you can lift the heavy weights, you push yourself hard in the gym every day, you find different races that challenge yourself, and you go back to the gym, but you start to realize you're in the same grind. Heavy weight, short thing. What do you need to do to push yourself further? I decided I want to do a marathon. Chicago was my target. So, in addition to pushing the weights hard and heavy to keep getting there, it involved hours of training in the heat in Florida. Taking off on trial marathons out in Salt Lake City, running half marathons down in Sarasota, finding races. Finding a race in Texas where I actually managed to post my best time, but all in the goal of getting to Chicago, which I did. I qualified and I got into Chicago and I ran it and I finished it. And so, as I learned, as I went along, I started off as this giant man, and through my challenges, I managed to shrink myself down over 100 pounds, ultimately going from a size 50 waist to a size 34. But what have I also learned? You still need to treat yourself, because every now and then can't deprive yourself. But don't have so many treats that you just can't get over the finish line and you end up flopped on the floor. Thank you for listening, and I'll be back with more.